Hey guys, I've been meaning to make this video for quite some time now, but a lot of things came up and taking that time instead. In fact, I was supposed to drop this video a day after the Knicks and Pacers first game of their series. But then I just didn't find the time to record. I digress. We're here to talk about Jirachi, and specifically endgame Jirachi, similarly compared to Kingambit in Gen 9 OU. If you guys are aware or already familiarized yourself with Kingambit shenanigans, whether you see it through clips or sucker 50/50s, right? You know that Kingambit's able to win games while he's the last one standing, right? Because of the sucker 50/50s and how strong he gets, especially when his teammates die. It's pretty good. In fact, a lot of people just run Kingambit for that matter, right? You're able to win even if you technically lose the whole game. You're able to win just off of how powerful sucker is. Whether you Terra Dark or have black glasses, because when your teammates die, you get stronger. It's a great ability. I think it's called Supreme Overlord. That ability there is just so good. Now, before we had stuff like that, we have Jirachi, and Jirachi is probably one of the most uninteractable endgame cleaners, sweepers, whatever you want to call it, that has ever existed, right? I'm just gonna let this clip play and you'll understand what I mean. Kingambit, there is at least some counterplay. You can resist sucker punch, like be a fairy or dark or a fighting type, and you'll be able to resist it and get a move out, surely, unless you're already chipped. You could will-o-wisp it, you could encore it, maybe trick a scarf or specs onto it, especially, you know, if the Kingambit clicks sucker, it'll be locked in. With Jirachi, it is out of both players' hands. As you can see there, I was able to break through a Toxapex. Even though the Toxapex resisted, there's not much my opponent can do, right? Even if he can click any move he wants, it's not in his hands. It's up to the game. It's not in my hands either, right? I just click Iron Head. Not much I can do, but hopefully I get that free turn. Here's another example of, you know, what should be a counter to Jirachi, right? I chip his fire type, a resist with bullet punch here, and despite not even being 2-code, the Typhlosion can't do much. I mean, I'm sure a flamethrower or fire blast, whatever he had, would have been able to kill or at least chip me heavily. But it breaks through. Here, Mummy gets put on, and so I lose Serene Grace. I lose that 60% chance, and it only goes down to 30. I'm still able to get a flinch. And sure, I get lucky here with the last mon being quad weak to Iron Head. But with the Scarf, I'm able to outspeed Mega Diancie, who is able to reach 350 speed. Naturally, Jirachi's only able to reach 328. And that leads me to my next point. Jirachi stats is great. 100 into all stats. You're naturally bulky, you're naturally strong, you're naturally fast. Again, the bulk is... it's nothing incredible, but it's nothing to scoff at. Here I break through Metacham, I get a flinch. Here's huge power Azumarill, right? I don't resist Aqua Jet. The flinch, doesn't really take any part here. But I'm able to break through. I think that was a 2-ko, 3-ko. Regardless, I'm able to break through in reasonable time, thanks to my bulk and thanks to my natural attack stat. And then I clean up Superior again through flinching through, and my opponent really can't do much there unless Superior is scarfed with HP fire, which is common. And well, not too common, but it's not uncommon. But here doesn't have the scarf, just loses straight up. I think he had leftovers there if I remember correctly, but that's not the most egregious form of Jirachi. There is DPP Jirachi, and DPP Jirachi, if you some of you already know that a lot of people have complained about this Pokemon. Serene Grace Jirachi in this tier is insane. Your body slam is able to paralyze every mon in the tier. I think it's below Gen 6, so Gen 5 and below, you're able to paralyze electric types. Nothing is immune to paralysis. So combine that with Jirachi's 60% flinch chance. Again, a common strategy, para flinching. A lot of people hate it. You are able to break through even harder with paralysis, right? I think someone did the math. Paralysis plus Iron Head flinch with Serene Grace. I think it's like an 80 to 86% chance to get your free turn. I think that's what it maths out to. It's great odds, right? Here I'm able to break through Jirachi without taking a single lick of damage. Here Heatran quad resists. I'm able to knock it out. That crit might have mattered. I don't know if it was a low or high roll previously, or high roll on that turn, right? If he had leftovers, probably would have had a few more turns to survive and possibly break through and kill Jirachi. Must have been running Scarf or Specs or something. But yeah, again, that whole time my opponent had 4 Pokemons to my 1, and he just couldn't do anything. Literally out of his hands, cannot make a move, cannot click a button. And Jirachi doesn't really is not limited to just flinching through. Here the T-Tar gets a T-Wave, which will help which will help Jirachi setup for this play here. I'm able to trick my Scarf, and now the Suicune, which is probably running Rest Talk, Calm Mind, Surf Suicune set, commonly found in Gen 3 OU. He's stuck clicking Surf. I'm able to just switch Latias into his Surfs and just recover it off. And with the paralysis, right? Combine that with paraflinching, or the paraflinching strat rather. You spread T-Wave everywhere. The Scarf is basically useless. Sure, it helps your speed out a little, but you're paralyzed. And Suicune's already naturally slower than Latias. That just shows some of the utility that Jirachi has. I love running Iron Head, U-Turn, Body Slam, and Trick on my Jirachi sets, on my Scarf Rachi sets. But yeah, you don't even have to run Scarf Jirachi for paraflinching, right? You spread paralysis all over. What do you need the Scarf for? Everything's paralyzed. here, my opponent up 4 Mons to my Jirachi. He doesn't have anything that resists Iron Head. It just makes it, just shows how crucial it is to have a resist, to even get a shot, to even have a chance at getting a turn in against Jirachi. So anyways, I hope that shows how brutal Jirachi can be. And you don't even have to bring Jirachi out in the late game. You could bring it out mid game in this replay here. If I can find it. Here we go. In this replay here, I bring Jirachi out mid game. Near the start. Right here. I bring Jirachi out mid game. Oh no, early game rather. Turn 3. I tried to body slam the Swampert instead of catch the Heatran, and that mattered. That mattered there. And you know, to spread paralysis, maybe to U-turn pivot out and get turn priority or turn advantage, you could bring Jirachi out to whatever. Jirachi's able to outspeed Dragon Dance T-Tar if you switch in onto it. If you're at full health, you're able to live T-Tar, Earthquake, depending on how the IV spread looks. At least from what I've experienced. But yeah, endgame Jirachi. Just a menace. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm CKB, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.